Hello, if you're just joining us, we're live on the 27,000 block of Hideaway Avenue here in Canyon Country, where you can see firefighters are trying to work out the remnants of this fire that occurred inside this apartment building, once again on the 27,000 block of Hideaway Avenue here in Canyon Country. If you're not familiar with where this is along Soledad Canyon Road to the south, where it meets Hideaway Avenue. There's a city bank. There's an apartment complex just behind that, and that's where we are right now, as fire crews from Battalion 22 work to extinguish the remnants of this contents fire that was inside of this apartment building. This breaking out over the last 15 minutes, once again here in Canyon Country on Santa Clarita's east side. So you're seeing fire crews from stations 107, 128, 132, as well as Quint 104 and Engine 150 from Fire Station 150 here on scene along with Battalion 22. And they're all working out the contents fire right now. You can see firefighters moving what was on fire out of the building and inside that tarp. And what they're trying to do is get rid of some of that debris, and they're going to allow that debris to really extinguish itself. And once they can get some foam on it, they're going to try and do that, but they're going to try and get it out of the building and onto the street, and that's what they're trying to do right now. We can see some of the Quints here staging at the scene just in case they need to use one of the aerial ladders. What they're going to do is they're going to drop off this bag down below to another firefighter. They're going to take a look at that and try to extinguish what's inside that bag. So once again, this is the scene of an apartment house fire here in Canyon Country on the 27,000 block of Hideaway Avenue here in Canyon Country. You can see these firefighters still working to extinguish a little bit of that smoke coming off of the contents fire that was inside of this apartment building. But fire crews able to get some of the foam mixed in and get some hose lines. We're seeing they're using a garden hose line that they have off of Patrol 132. So they're able to use that to extinguish a bulk of that fire. But when we first got here to the scene, quite a bit of smoke rising outside of this apartment. They were evacuating the building, and some of the neighbors evacuating themselves, as the sheriff's department coming in with the fire department from Battalion 22, able to help get people out of the building. But right now that fire mostly contained to some contents. So what we're going to do is we're going to move our camera down below so we can see exactly what was going on below. And those firefighters are going to basically move some of that burning, smoldering, those items into a garbage can. And what we're hearing is possibly some trash that was on fire. But you can see some of that smoke as we tilt up, some of that smoke still rising out of that balcony. And that's where they first reported seeing smoke. Squad 107 was one of the first units on scene, Squad 107 being a paramedic unit out of Fire Station 107. They were able to report that they saw smoke rising out of the balcony area of this apartment. And you can see some of that smoke still rising, but significantly less smoke than we saw initially when we first arrived to the scene. But you can see those contents, and what they're calling this is a contents fire, but the firefighter is going to check inside of a garage just below this balcony to ensure that none of that fire spread. So they want to do is they want to make sure that that fire is not smoldering inside of the building itself. And what they're going to do is try to at least keep that fire contained as best as they can. You can see once again that smoke still rising, and I can tell you it's very cold outside, so you're going to see a lot of that smoke. It's quite possibly some steam being mixed in with the hot contents fire. So they're going to continue to work that out. But I can tell you the Quints not being moved in. So the Quints are those ladder trucks that you're seeing that you typically would see going around town. We have two Quints, Quints 104 out of Fire Station 150, which could possibly soon be Quint 150. And we're still working out those details. And we have Quint 126 out of Fire Station 126 off of Citrus Street in Valencia. Those two Quints are, what they typically do is they use those for apartment house fires or home fires, and they're able to use those 100-foot aerial ladders to access the rooftops and do some venting. But right now they're not utilizing those, so we can tell you that that fire most likely not inside the apartment any longer. Firefighters able to move some of those contents out of the building and then mitigate those issues with fire shortly after. So you're seeing once again those fire crews working on getting some of the burning, smoldering debris out of the building, and then using their tarps, their fire resistant tarps, to move it down. So you're going to see them hand off to a firefighter just below as we get a little bit of a wider perspective on this incident. But they're calling this the Hideaway incident. So if you know typically how our fire department names an incident, they will name it based off of the street where the command post is or where the initial incident is. So because this is Hideaway Avenue, they're going to name this the Hideaway incident. If you recall, the sand fire that was located just off of Sand Canyon Road, so they named that the sand incident. And that's typically where we get those names from, is from our fire department. They name them like that so people responding to those fires know where to centrally locate their resources. So, and if you have any questions as to the procedures you're seeing taking place or this fire in general, you're welcome to ask them in the comment section below, and we'll do our best to answer them as we look at this big piece of smoldering. We're not sure what this was, but I'm going to dial down our ND filter here for just a second. So give me just a brief second so we can see exactly what this was. But you can see that burned piece of equipment. We're not sure exactly what that was, but we can see that that is mostly destroyed as a result of this fire. So once again, this is the scene of an apartment house fire here in Fire Station 107's area on the 27,000 block of Hideaway Avenue. And those firefighters now using, we're going to dial our ND filter up again. Those firefighters now using their hose lines to try to douse what is left of the smoldering debris on the balcony. We're trying to get our iris to cooperate just a little bit here, so bear with us for this dark image as it balances itself. And there we go. You can see firefighters using that garden hose line. It's not your typical garden hose, so they call it a garden hose. What they're able to do is pull it off of a spool and get water or foam onto a fire very quickly, and that comes in very handy instead of using the full hose line that they would typically use. And it looks like they now have access to a rooftop ladder that they're able to climb up now. You can see that smoke still rising out of that balcony area. We're going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see that. So whatever's burning up there is still very, very hot in nature. You can see some of that smoke still rising off that balcony once again, but firefighters now leaving the balcony. And it looks like that smoke may actually be steam. So that's what we're hearing. That might actually be steam, simply because it's very, very cold outside and they're very, very hot up there, and the water that's inside that hose line may be a little warmer than the elements around it, so it might be letting off a little bit of steam. But firefighters still working on mitigating whatever is smoldering up on that balcony. They have since closed the garage door that was just below that balcony, and they have since checked it. And they said that there's no spread to that garage that's just below this balcony here, but firefighters about to disembark from that rooftop. And it looks like they're pulling some, a child's, it looks like a picnic bench. One of those play school picnic benches. It's showing some char marks, so. But quite a bit of foam leaving the balcony right now as they were spraying some of that foam from that garden hose. I want to show you something in particular. We're trying to figure out what this was just below. But it shows you the sheer power of that fire. You can see part of the California state flag, the logo there. We're not quite sure what this was. It could have been a bench of some sort. But you can see this completely destroyed, very much melted. Really, as I said earlier, really a testament to how powerful fire can be. But it looks like we're seeing a sheriff's deputy holding a baby just below, so we're going to try to move our camera for just a second, but that sheriff's deputy giving comfort to a child right now. And it looks like they are the occupants of this apartment, but the sheriff's deputy making that child laugh, as some of these deputies would do. We've seen at different scenes. You can see those firefighters leaving that ground ladder. And so now we have no more fire personnel on top of that balcony. And it looks like that piece of equipment that we're thinking that might actually be a portable refrigerator. So we're seeing that being wheeled by the fire crews. And we can see some soda cans melted inside, so we're pretty sure that that is a portable refrigerator. But you can see fire crews still working on securing the scene here. But that's going to really do it for us here at the scene of this apartment fire here on the 27,000 block of Hideaway Avenue in Canyon Country. Reporting live here at the Hideaway incident. This is Austin Dave.